Hi there, this video is about IELTS General Writing Task 1. I am going to show you a model answer or a sample answer which ideally got a top band score. You can assume it got 8.5 or 9. I am going to walk you through the steps which can make your letter a recipe for success. Moreover, I have a bonus tip for you. At the end, I am going to show you a checklist. If you have those 4 points in mind after writing a letter when you are practicing for your IELTS writing task 1, then nothing can stop you from acquiring your ideal band score, a top-notch band score, or which can make your letter a recipe for success. So without any delay, let's dive into the video. Let's shift to our big screen and see what I have in store for you. So here we are at our computer screen, and as I told you, this video is about IELTS General Writing Task 1, and I'm going to share a sample answer with you which is a formula of a band 9 answer. So without any further delay, let's see what's the recipe for success. So let me clarify, if you're a beginner and you don't know how to sequence your ideas, then this slide is really going to help you because I've given you a ready-made outline or a mind map for sequencing your ideas. First thing you need to know is that in IELTS writing task 1, you either get a formal letter, an informal, or a semi-formal letter. So for this video, I've chosen semi-formal letter because a lot of people struggle with that. Keeping that in mind, when you write a semi-formal letter, you begin it by writing Reverend Sir or Madam. You don't need to write the address at all. You don't need to waste your word limit on that. After that, the first part is called opening line. I'm numbering it the things for you, and you have to directly tell the purpose that why you're writing this letter. Don't waste your time in beating about the bush by asking how are you, how is life treating you, how have you been, because such questions are asked in an informal letter, not in a semi-formal or a formal letter. So we straight away come to the purpose by asking, I'm writing this letter to, followed by the purpose of the letter. Now from where do you get the purpose of the letter? It's already given in the question. You don't need to worry about it. Just rephrase the entire question in your own words. You can say I'm writing this letter to, and then take the wording of the question and change it in your own words. Let's imagine here our question is that write a letter to your landlord telling him about the early cancellation of your tenancy contract. So here you are going to say, I'm writing this letter to request for the early cancellation of my tenancy contract. So this is your beginning, you are good to go. Then you can rephrase all the 3 bullet points as well. After that, in case you don't want to do that, what you can do is address the first bullet point in the first body paragraph. This is the first body paragraph, this is the second body paragraph, and this is the third body paragraph. So divide your letter after the introduction into 3 body paragraphs. There are always 3 bullet points given in the question. So divide your body paragraphs into 3 body paragraphs and follow the sequence of the question. Address the first bullet point first, followed by the second bullet point, and then go to the third bullet point. This should be the sequence. Don't rearrange the sequence of ideas. Don't shuffle the ideas that you are addressing the second bullet point first and then the first bullet point and then the third bullet point. This can offend the examiner. This can be a source of deduction of marks for you. So follow the sequence of ideas given in the question and tackle them in the same manner. Okay, after you address all the bullet points in the body paragraphs, then don't randomly end up the letter. You must signal the ending. You must wrap up ideas. So in case of a semi-formal letter, what can be the proper closing line? You can say, I'll appreciate your cooperation considering my inevitable condition. So this is called signal the ending. Okay, this is the fourth part. And finally comes the fifth part, which is also called signing off. And how do you sign off in a semi-formal letter? You write yours sincerely followed by a comma, and then in the next line write your full name followed by a full stop. Make sure you keep the initials of your name capital. So this is a ready-made custom-made plan for you. You can memorize it as it is to see what is the sequence of ideas, how you have to arrange things in your semi-formal letter. Okay, so let's see what is our sample question today, which I'm going to discuss in the sample answer or a model answer for you. Okay, this is the first section of IELTS general training. It's always mentioned that which training is this? Is it general or is it academic? So this is for general training. Okay, you should spend about 20 minutes of it. So you already know that you have a short time, so that's why you should always have a clear picture in mind. And the slide I shared previously, you can just have tag it in your mind so that you don't waste your time in thinking that how I'll sequence my ideas. Okay, so you see, as I mentioned, there are 3 bullet points: point number 1, point number 2, and this is your point number 3. So in bullet point 1 you have to introduce yourself. In the second paragraph you are asked to leave the flat before the contract finishes. You have to inform your owner. And thirdly, explain why you need to break the contract. And also you must keep in mind that you have the word limit of 150 words, and you don't have to go under length or over length. Your letter cannot be minimum than 150 words or cannot be more than 150 words. For that, I must say that you have a lot of practice at home. And how you can count your words: you can have a random idea that in case you are using 3 or 3.5 or 4 lines in one paragraph, that makes it 50 words. So that means you can use 3 paragraphs in total. Not only that, you can multiply the number of words with the number of lines, and that is the total number of words that you've used. So let's imagine you've used 10 words in one line and there are total 10 lines. So you will have 10 multiplied by 10 equal to total number of words used. So this is how you can calculate your words. So first advice for you is that read the question very carefully and understand that what has been asked in these 3 bullet points. Okay, these will give you the plan for your letter, and you know that what are you going to address in the first paragraph, followed by the second paragraph, and then the third paragraph. So here is a sample letter for you. Okay, on the right side here I've discussed things, that what are these parts. On the left side I've given you examples. So let's begin. This is our first part of the letter, which is called salutation. Because this is a semi-formal letter, so you begin it by Reverend Sir or Reverend Madam. This part is called salutation. You don't need to write it. I just wrote it for you as an identification that what is this part called. Okay. After that, the next part is called the purpose of the letter. You have to tell the purpose of your letter. So you can say, I'm writing this letter to inform you about the early cancellation of the tenancy contract. Okay. Then the first bullet point says, introduce yourself. So here in this paragraph, we are going to introduce ourselves. So let's see how we can do that. My name is Jane Hinton and I've been a tenant in your flat situated near the World Trade Center for the past 10 months. I hope that you are aware that I've been a responsible tenant during this time, and I always pay my rent on time and ensure that the flat is in a picture perfect condition. Now if you look at this paragraph, I've given multiple ideas. I'm using connectives. Not only that, use an idiom in a picture perfect condition. So right from the beginning, I'm keeping the assessment criteria or the scoring criteria in mind, that the examiner will be checking me whether I'm using multiple ideas, whether I'm giving extended answer. Not only that, am I using connectives? At the same time, am I keeping a check on the usage of lexical resource or impressive vocabulary? So keep the assessment criteria in mind right from the beginning. Okay, now if you look at the screen, this is your second bullet point, which says asked to leave the flat before the contract finishes. Now let's see how we can handle this point. Here in the first paragraph, we handled the first bullet point. In the second paragraph, we are going to handle the second bullet point. So let's see, we have to ask to leave the flat before the contract finishes. So we are saying, my official rental agreement with you is for 1 whole year and the contract ends on 31st of December. Regrettably, I have just heard that I'll have to leave the flat in November, which is in fact 2 months early. Now you see, I've highlighted everything in purple, which is directly linked with the bullet points in the question. So straight away I came to the point and I explained that why I have to leave the flat early before the contract finishes. So I'm asking the landlord for doing this. The reason for this is that my boss has asked me to go back to France earlier than planned, and I'm afraid that I'll have to follow his orders. So if you see in the second bullet point, asked to leave the flat before the contract finishes. Straight away I came to the point and I gave a significant reason for that, so that it sounds good enough. In the third bullet point, you have to answer the third bullet point. In the third bullet point, it said explain why you need to break the contract. So let's see how we can handle this. We are saying, I've been transferred to France and will be required to report for duty on the 1st of November. Therefore, I request you to consider my plea to terminate the contract due to my inability to continue further. As I shift from here in November, I shall be highly grateful if you could return the refundable deposit paid at the time of signing the agreement. Now you see, I've straight away explained that why I need to break the contract. Not only that, I'm giving an extremely significant reason that it sounds genuine. So these are the things you should keep in mind. So in the first paragraph, we describe the purpose and we address the first bullet point. In the second paragraph, we address the second bullet point. Similarly, in the third paragraph, we address the third bullet point. Now you can also see that there is no repetition of ideas. The first paragraph is linked directly to the second, and the second paragraph is directly linked to the third. So each idea leads to another, and there is a continuous flow of ideas moving from the first paragraph to the second, then from the second to the third. So we maintained a continuous flow of ideas as well. Now we don't end up the letter randomly. Instead, we have to signal the ending. We have to wrap up ideas. So this is called the signal the ending part, where you can say, I'll appreciate your cooperation considering my inevitable condition. After that, you have to sign off. And how should you sign off? You can say yours faithfully followed by your full name. Keep your initials capital and at the end put a full stop. So let me give you a recap. This is your question. I'm highlighting it for you. It says, in your letter, you should introduce yourself, ask to leave the flat before the contract finishes, and explain why you need to break the contract. We did all that in 3 different paragraphs as I explained you, and we also began the letter very properly. Instead of initiating it in a random way, we wrote the purpose, that why we are writing this letter. Then we are unfolding each point one by one in different body paragraphs. Okay, so you have to write the salutation to greet the person. We wrote here, Reverend Sir. Secondly, you have to write the purpose of the letter. I'm writing this letter to either to inform or to complain or to invite. There can be different reasons, but this letter is different. This is about the early cancellation. So we're writing this as a request or to inform about the early cancellation of the tenancy contract. After that, you address the 3 bullet points in separate paragraphs, and then you signal the ending like it's written, I must go now as I'm running out of time. After that, you have to sign off the letter, and in an informal letter you can write your friend followed by your name, but in a formal or semi-formal letter you write yours sincerely followed by your full name. Not only that, you must know that you have to keep your tone also formal. This is a formal letter, so obviously you cannot be informal with the person, because firstly you don't know this person, you are not personally acquainted with this person. That's why you have to maintain a distance. So keep your tone formal. Don't use slangs here, don't use contractions here, and show that you are respecting the person, because already you need a favor from this person. Okay, so this is you can take a screenshot of the letter to see the exact picture. Let me explain it to you. We wrote, dear sir or madam, this is called salutation. We introduced ourselves. It was told at the first bullet point that introduce yourself. Secondly, you have to give the reason. We gave the reason. And in the third paragraph, we have to tell that why we need to vacate the flat. And then you can see I've signaled the ending for you. And then this part is called the signing off part. So these are the 5 parts that you can keep in mind, and they are really going to be helpful. And if you see here that this is paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, our letter is not under length, our letter is not over length, it's exactly 150 words. So the examiner is going to be extremely happy that we have an idea, we have a good command that how we are keeping our tabs on everything. Now it's the most important part of this video is that before you actually go for your exam, practice a lot of letters by keeping this assessment criteria in mind. The first part of this assessment criteria is called task achievement. By task achievement, it means that have you achieved the task which you were told to do. For example, if I ask you that get up, go there and bring something. So there are 3 parts. You have to get up, you have to go to a certain place and bring something. If you have done each of these tasks, that means you have done the task achievement. You have achieved and accomplished the task. Similarly, in IELTS General Writing Task 1, you have to achieve the task by addressing the 3 bullet points. You are told 3 things to do in the question. For example, here, number 1, you were supposed to introduce yourself. Number 2, you were supposed to ask to leave the flat before the contract finishes. And number 3, you had to explain why you need to break the contract. So if you have done all these 3 things, that means you've done the task achievement. In case you just address the first part and the second part and you forget about the third part, that means you are not successful in accomplishing the task achievement part. That's why it's really important to go in a sequence and address all the parts given in the question. Next part is called part number 2 of your success criteria or the scoring criteria. It's also called cohesion and coherence. So what do we mean by that? It means that you have to show that you are linking your ideas, you're giving multiple reasons. Not only that, one idea leads to another and there is no repetition of ideas. So if you look at this sample answer, our first bullet point leads to the second bullet point and the second bullet point leads to the third bullet point. So there is a continuous flow of ideas, one idea leads to another, there was no repetition at all. So it shows a lot of cohesion and coherence. Not only that, to link ideas we use connectives like regrettably or the reason for this is that or therefore. These are the few examples which I have picked from the question. So our next part is called lexical resource. That means usage of impressive vocabulary in your answer. So if you see this answer, I use an idiom here in a picture perfect condition. So this is an idiom which means very prim and proper. Then we use words like cancellation of my tenancy contract. So if you see, this is not lame vocabulary. Instead, this is very appropriate to the task given to us. Not only that, we use adverbs like regrettably to link ideas. We use this as a connective. So we fulfill the next criteria, which is also called lexical resource. And our last very important assessment criteria, which is part 4 of the scoring criteria, you can say, it's called grammatical range and accuracy, where you have to show the examiner that you have a good command over language. You can use different sentence structures, you can use different tenses. You can incorporate all these simple, compound, complex sentences in your written expression. Only then you are capable of getting an ideal band score. So if you look at these examples, we use a complex sentence, I always pay my rent on time, to ensure that the flat is in a picture perfect condition. So we use the complex sentence, then we use different tenses like present tense. I'm writing, and we use present continuous tense in the beginning. I'm writing this letter to inform you about the early cancellation of the tenancy contract. And lastly, we use future tense, that I shall be highly grateful if you could return the refundable amount. So we use a mixture, a combination of all those things which are a part of success criteria. So I'm sure these things will help you, and you are going to incorporate all these things in your letter when you are attempting and practicing. I would advise you practice a lot, because practice is what's going to make you perfect at your written expression, keeping in mind that whether you have kept all these things in mind or not. These things in mind which I have discussed with you in today's video. Remember, the first slide I shared with you is a custom made outline for you. Keep that in mind, practice a lot of letters with that, then you won't have any problem. This is a full-fledged formula or a recipe for success, for helping you to get an ideal band score in your writing task 1. I'll meet you soon in a next video about another topic. You take good care of yourselves and consider subscribing. See you.